Hey, so you might have seen my previous video, if I've uploaded it, to do with, I don't know how much I can say in the first 30 seconds or so of this video, but my being the victim of something illegal. Yeah, I think you can get what I'm saying. There's been a lot since all of that occurred with regards to the police and therapy and the whole process, and of course the effect that it has had on me. There's always something. There's always like something new, kind of. I guess that's just grieving and healing and processing and PTSD. Everything coming together. I've had sort of like flashbacks in terms of thoughts of the events just kind of coming into my head out of nowhere, or if I thought about those people, that would be in my head. There hasn't been a day that I don't think about that. So there is that. It's not that I sit here and think about it, it's just that it comes up. It's normal. And I never thought that it was absurd, to be honest. I never tried to like push it away too much. I think only a couple of times where I've gotten really angry and I just wanted to force it out of my head. But that's the thing, it's like when you say to yourself, don't think about X, you're gonna keep thinking about it. So like X is in like fill in the blank, and so I just kind of let it come and go. Sometimes it would feel like my thoughts were being invaded out of nowhere. I'd be in the middle of a conversation with somebody, trying to be present, and there'll be one thing that they say, or like one song that I hear, or just I'll see somebody that looks like one of the people, and my mind goes like it just I don't really I have to like come back to and be very like make a conscious effort to come back to the present. But I don't let it bother me like it used to. Of course it did, like quite early on, but I've just decided to, it's been both a decision and a natural progression to let it not have as much control over my emotions and my day. I think because it got to the point where I was almost trying so hard to get rid of it, or like not feel so bad, that I'd spend all my time focusing on these things and effectively reliving the experience and the pain of that experience again and again and again. And then I kind of woke up, I looked at my life, and I was like, wait a minute, my life is still carrying on, you know. My life around me is not looking so great right now. Like, I can influence this, I can change this. And so for the past, it's been a really slow transition and a very difficult transition. But I've learned how to pick myself back up and rely on myself again, feel safe in my own skin, trust myself, my intuition, do things that make me feel grounded and happy every day. So I'll mention this in another video that I want to film. I have a gratitude journal that I keep every day. I write 5 things that I'm grateful for, and I really hold myself to it. I've been quite successful with that because 5 things, it's not too much. It's specific as well, so I know exactly how many I need to do every single day. I don't have to think about that. And it makes me get creative because, you know, if you can't think of 5 things to be grateful for, I've said this in a previous video, then you're not being grateful enough. Like, you're not looking hard enough. Like, I have a textbook here that I borrowed from the library. I could literally say I'm so thankful for that textbook, because that textbook has knowledge, it has information in it, and I can learn so much. You know, there's something. You know, oh, this perfume that's like right over here that my mom gave me for my birthday. Like, My mom thought of me. I have a mom. I have a mom that loves me. Like, you know? Anyway, that, and I'll go for daily walks. I take myself a day. Whenever I tell anyone that, I feel like a dog because, you know, like, yeah. But I do. The sunshine definitely helps, but just getting my step count in, getting fresh air. Sometimes I listen to music or a podcast, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like to just take everything in as it is. Anyway, it's been a journey, but what I wanted to, what sort of is the, not the premise, I guess, but like what made me feel inspired to make this was a flashback, but a bit more of a sort of jarring one, I guess you could say. I'm not gonna go into detail because it's not necessary, but I was participating in a certain adult activity, and there was something that I was doing at the time, which was a sort of, not a mirror, but it was very similar to what was happening in the second occurrence, like the second assault. And it's been in the back of my mind like a couple of times, but I always kind of managed to be present and remember that this person is not that person. But I'd say a week or so ago, nothing happened. Like, there was nothing that this person did to trigger me, nothing. This person that I was with, I feel very safe with them. There's absolutely nothing. But I think it was the act. I have no idea, like something about whatever we were doing. I just got this flashback, and it felt very real. It wasn't just a mental thing. It was like my body suddenly went into that anxious feeling, and it was like, anyway, I had that, and then I was like, no, I'm with this person, they're not gonna do that, I'm okay, I'm safe, they would listen, they're not gonna do that, they're not like that. And I managed to like be okay and come back to the present and have a good time. But I did speak to my caseworker about it, and she was really helpful, and she was explaining kind of like why the brain does this, and she said that basically what can happen is you've been through this before, and like you may have done something similar before, and so your brain brings it back up so that you can react to it differently. It's a way of it trying to cope, and it's like trying to recognize if you're under threat. So it's like it's like a fight or flight response, something along the lines of that. And when she said fight or flight, like I was like, that is it, like that's exactly what it felt like my body suddenly went into that fight or flight. It made me think, because this is really vulnerable to talk about online, but I think it'll help people. So like, oh man, okay. Sometimes I forget how like it's really real. Okay, so after the first incident, I'd made it very clear after the first incident about during or before the first incident, that I wasn't interested. That was not respected. What happened. And I noticed after that, if ever I was in a circumstance, like in a situation where I wasn't in the mood, and a person would try to convince me, they'd sort of like start doing things anyway, like kissing me, and there would be a physiological response. So I would think, oh, maybe I must be into this. Not true, by the way. If your mind isn't there, like, unless it's like agreed upon previously, like, hey, convince me, no is not a convince me. No is a no. No is a no. This is not going any further. We are not doing anything. Just for anybody out there, a physiological response is not a yes. Okay? I wasn't secure enough in that in myself. And clearly other people just either didn't know or they just didn't care. I noticed that after the first incident, whenever I would express that I wasn't interested, that I wasn't in the mood, and somebody would try to convince me, that my body I'd start getting anxiety and sometimes I'd have a panic attack. I couldn't help it. It was like something just came over me and I would just freak out. And for a minute I thought I was a bit nuts, but I think I hadn't clocked it. I actually didn't report that first incident until the second one occurred because I wanted to forget about it. I wanted to kind of squash it and leave it in the past, and there was alcohol involved as well, and I felt guilty too. I felt guilty because I had had a drink, like I had a few drinks, and Anyway, what was I saying? So even at that point, my body knew. Like there was something where I had this sort of alarm go off, like, hey, I don't want this, I don't want this, make it stop, I don't want this. Anyway, I wanted to share a worksheet that my caseworker sent me. I'm wondering if I can I don't know if I can embed like a PDF. I don't know if I can share this, if they'll be okay with me sharing it online, like a link, but I don't think they'd kill me for it. Like at the end of the day, this will help so many people, and so many people don't report things and therefore don't get caseworkers. So if I can find a way, what I'll do, because I have this document, I'll either insert a link for you guys, like in the caption, sorry, in the bio. God, what is it? Am I even a YouTuber? I'll insert a link either in the description or in the comment section, or I'll post in the community thing some screenshots, or I'll put it on my Instagram. Like I'll find a way to get this out there for you guys, because it's a lot. I don't want to like read through everything, but I'll have a skim and like give you guys some main pointers, and maybe you can take something from that and it'll help you. As I already mentioned, like when that flashback occurred for me, because I've had like little like mini voice, like not a voice, but like a mini fear that has come up in the past since the incidents, but I'm able to push it away a lot sooner, whereas this time it was more prominent. And usually what I do is I just focus on who I'm with and remind myself that I'm safe with them. I remind myself of their character, but I also remind myself of my strength and who I am, and that I can say no, and that I can, you know, like, it's not about physically fighting, but I can assert myself, basically. And also one thing that really helps is communicating, like beforehand. If you're not going to communicate about it, just don't do that activity. Like if you can avoid doing that activity, or you can alter it, or you can just say like, I'm not comfortable doing this. They don't need to know why, but there you go. You need to like look out for yourself and know that you can. So find a way to communicate your boundaries. If it's somebody that you're dating, or somebody that you're getting to know, or somebody that you already know, then maybe have a conversation with them prior to anything you do, just so they know that you might get triggered, you might have a moment, and then communicate what for you is like a hard no, or like a stop. It's very easy to get started. It's very easy to say like yes, because society gives you a ton of reasons, peer pressure gives you a ton of reasons to not be to not be like a party pooper, basically, right? You want to be good, right? But you don't want to do that to the detriment of yourself and your sanity. The shitty thing is that you can communicate that and it can still be disrespected, but the chances of you not staying stuck, should that happen, staying stuck in the confused grey area of maybe it was my fault. That could literally just be no, which is perfectly fine. I don't like doing this, so can we not do this? I don't do XYZ, like, and that's your boundary. It does help. It helps you to know, and it helps future partners to know as well. Me being where I am now, I can't change what happened, but I'm more secure now in what a hard no means for me. And I know to communicate that with any future partners that I have, because not that they would do what these people did to me, but it's just about staying in a territory where I feel safe. That's it. It's avoiding going into a territory where I feel unsafe. And so you might argue that, okay, well, I don't know what that is for me because I have never done it before. Okay, but just come up with a word or a term or something physically obvious that you do to convey to the other person that, hey, can we stop? Can we take a break? That's it. Can we cool off for a minute? Just have that signal, because, okay, yeah, you've never had sex before, or you haven't had that situation, but that situation, should it arise, you need to have the language to be able to communicate that you're not comfortable. Right, going into the document. Learn what works best for you, whether it's a mental strategy like telling yourself you're safe now, or maybe doing something more physical. The aim is to turn your focus of attention away from the past or current distress and into the here and now of reality and safety. Tell yourself you are having a flashback or anxiety attack and that this is okay and normal. The worst is over. It happened in the past, but it is not happening now. Tell yourself that was then and this is now. However terrible you feel right now, you survived the awfulness then, which means you can survive and get through what you are remembering now. Open your eyes and put a light on if it's dark. Look around the room. Notice the colors, the people, the shapes of things. Make it more real. Listen to and really notice the sounds around you. The traffic, voices, washing machine, music, etc. Notice your body, the boundary of your skin, how your clothes feel on your skin, movement in your hair as you move your head. Really feel the chair or floor supporting you, how that feels in your feet, your legs, your body. Pinch yourself. That feeling is in the now. The things you are re-experiencing happened in the past. That was then, and this is now. Stand up and put your feet firmly on the ground. Move about, stretch, stamp your feet, jump up and down, dance, run on the spot, rub your arms and legs, clap your hands, walk, remind yourself where you are right now. Use 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Think about 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch and touch them, 2 things you can smell or like the smell of, and 1 slow, deep breath. Notice what is right now, and notice how different it is to the distressing memory. Breathe mindfully. Breathe deeply down into your belly. Put your hand there, just above your navel, and breathe so that your hand gets pushed up and down. Feels nice. Imagine you have a balloon in your tummy, inflating it as you breathe in and deflating as you breathe out. When we get scared, we breathe too quickly and shallowly, and our body begins to panic because we're not getting enough oxygen. This causes dizziness, shakiness, and more panic. Breathing slower and deeper will stop the panic. If you have lost a sense of your body, rub your arms and legs so you can feel where your body starts and ends, the boundary of you. Wrap yourself in a blanket and feel it around you. Walk and really think about walking or another activity mindfully. Notice the way your body moves, how your feet move, and feel as you walk. Notice your leg muscles and the way your arms feel as they swing. Notice the movement in your hair and the sensation of moving air on your skin. Notice the sensations of breathing as you walk. Describe and say out loud, if appropriate, what you are doing right now in great detail, or describe doing a routine activity. At the moment, I am sat on my chair at my desk in my accommodation, and I am making a YouTube video for my beautiful subscribers. Try to think about different things, almost like playing mental games. For example, count backwards in 7s from 100. Think of 10 different animals, 10 blue things, one animal or country for each letter of the alphabet. Say the alphabet slowly, say the alphabet backwards, etc. Damn, I could never. Z, Y, X, V, U, T, S. Okay, I lost it. Carry a grounding object with you. Some people carry a stone or other small object, perhaps which has personal meaning, to comfort and touch when you need to. Is that a bit too big? Yeah, maybe. Get support if you would like it. Let people close to you know about flashbacks or how anxiety attacks affect you so they can help you if you want them to. That might mean holding you, talking to you, helping you to reconnect with the present, to remember you are safe and cared for now. If there is no one, use a helpline. Flashbacks and anxiety are powerful experiences which drain your energy. Take time to look after yourself afterwards. You could have a warm, relaxing bath or a sleep. A warm drink, play some soothing music, or just take some quiet time for yourself. Be kind to yourself. Ask yourself questions in order to bring yourself into the present. Write down your own questions, for example. Where am I right now? What day is it? What year is it? How old am I? Where do I live? Use positive coping statements. You might prepare a coping statement, for example, I am safe right now. This is just a memory. That was then and this is now. I am in insert place, and the date is insert date. This flashback will pass. Make an emergency or soothe box you can use another time and fill it with meaningful and helpful objects or reminders. Download an MP3. What's that? Oh dear. Okay, is that like a song thing? MP3. How old is this document? Onto your phone, such as first aid for panic, or use another from here, and they put a link. www.getselfhelp.co.uk/gallery1.htm. When you feel ready, you might want to write down about the flashback or anxiety attack and how you got through it. This will help to remind you that you did get through it and can again. Remember, you are not crazy. Flashbacks are normal and they are helping you to heal. So I will still try and find a way to put this out for you guys, because you might prefer to have a visual, you're less auditory, and it might just be a nice reminder for you. I know this has been a bit of a lengthy one. Maybe some of you guys can relate to my experience. I hope that you found, if not the document helpful, or if not my experience, then at least one of them to be useful to you. Recovery. Cheers. Cheers to recovery. You know, it sucks. I mean, I'm sure you know, probably if you're watching this video, especially now at this time, like after this much time, but recovery sucks. Like, being on the other end of this, dealing with the aftermath of what other people have done is irritating as anything. But it gives you an opportunity to learn about new things and how to rely on yourself better. I mean, this is what I'm looking at it like, because trying to see the bright side. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I feel like I'm in a bit of a weird place, like right now. I feel like I've shut down a bit emotionally. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I don't mind. Most of the time I can talk about it in a very matter-of-fact, detached way. But when I like actually think about it, I realize how angry I am, like all the time. Not like right now, like if you looked at me, you wouldn't be like, oh, you're angry, you know? Or maybe you would. But it's not like that. It's more just like simmering. You know, I always feel like I'm simmering. And only should I say this here. I talked to my caseworker about it, and back when this happened, the second person, they're with the same school as me at uni. And back when this first happened, one of the welfare members that I spoke with asked me if I wanted to do anything. I don't remember exactly what they were talking about, but it almost suggested that I could do something through the university, should I wish to do so. I think it was something like that, and I said at the time, I mean, I was so, if you've been through this, you know how nuts it is and how your world is like just turned upside down. I was trying to deal with like 2 cases at once, and it was just insane. So I said no. I said no. I said, this person's gonna graduate this year and I don't want to take that away from them. Do I regret that? No. That's what's weird, I guess. She suggested, my caseworker thought, okay, maybe it's because of that, you know, that you feel like you should have done something. She's not trying to tell me that that's what it was, she was just making suggestions. Maybe. Maybe, I don't know. I'm daydreaming. Sorry. I remember I spoke to one of my friends about that probably a couple weeks after this occurred, and she was like, no, whatever you can do, you should do it. Whatever you can do. But at the end of the day, it's your fight. I'm not 100% sure that I could have done anything, but I think that there's a chance that I could have. And boy, should that person consider themselves lucky that I haven't done a damn thing with regards to that. I just feel like I've reported it. I'm doing the police stuff. I've done enough hassle on my side. Like, I've been through enough on my side. They know. I don't know if they know that they've done something wrong. I really don't. But they know that I'm not pleased with them. And it's on their record now, like, as in somewhat. I trust the process, I trust God. I don't need to take away this person's degree or whatever. I don't need to mess with that. Let them have it, let them enjoy. I don't care. I just feel like, yes, it sucked. Like, yes, it was, I'm not trying to trivialize what they did. It's just, I can't be bothered. And I'm not saying this is the right response. I'm not saying that other people should do this and that this is the only way to be at peace, but I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to do that. And maybe it's just that I don't have the capacity to, quite honestly. Maybe 6 months from now I'll be like, oh my god, I made a mistake. I should have done something. But I think having them arrested was enough. I mean, I'm good for now. Just can't be bothered. You know, like, karma will come and get your ass. I don't need to do a damn thing with that. I think it's like, touch wood, if it was something a lot bigger, and I think if it was, yeah, I don't really need to like go into it. I just feel like for how it went down, I'm not saying it was a happy experience, clearly not, but for how it went down, I think that it could have been a lot worse. And I thank my lucky stars every day that it wasn't. And given that I don't need to go out and do like revenge stuff, and because that's, for me, that's what it would be. Other people could call it consequences, punishment. For me, going out of my way to like ruin somebody's education or whatever, like I can't, like it feels not worth it. Because the thing is, their character will follow them wherever they go. So irrespective of like what I do, they made a rod for their own back. Unless they change, that is. I don't need to be worried about it. Like, I know God's gonna take care of me. God's gonna make sure that they learn the lessons they need to. I don't know if I'll ever get an apology, but you know what? To live my best life, I don't need one. I don't. I thought for a long time that I did, from both people. Some acknowledgement even. But truly, sometimes you just need to accept that people just aren't on the same page as you. And really, like, seeing them again, hearing from them again, getting that like final conversation, getting that apology, you make it out to be bigger than it actually is. Closure is when you move on for yourself. You know, it's like saying, I'm done waiting for these people to wake up to the hurt that they put me through. And just being like, fuck it, I'm gonna be about me. You know, I'm gonna be about me. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if I'm suited to give advice with this stuff. I'm barely figuring out how to deal with it on my own. Anyway, I just thought I'd come here and share the updates. Oh, I thought I had my earrings in. Should I put some earrings in? I've been feeling like in the mood to be pretty nowadays. And that comes with putting some earrings. See how pretty. I got these when I was like 14 or so, 15. You can see I kind of fixed my leaves, right? You proud of me? Basically, every time they were down, hello? Ah, there we go. Every time they were down, it's not because I just left them. It was literally because I put them back up, they'd fall. I put them back up, they'd fall. I put them back up, they'd fall. And this is the marker of never giving up. There you go. There's your inspiration. Never give up. I know obviously it doesn't look as perfect as like, you know, when I first did it back in the day, but it's better than when it was like hanging down here. Bloody nightmare. Right, that's it, my Cheerios and chickens. I don't know, I kind of just want to like, if anyone was watching that's like been through that, I kind of just want to like come together in like a big circle and like have a huge group hug. That sounds kind of culty, but like as in like I just want to, you know, just like sit with other people and you just kind of, you don't have to say much, you just like, I get it, you know? So if you're there, if you've been through this and you're feeling like shit, this is me giving you a big hug, big squeezy hug. and saying that we're in it together. We got each other. We're gonna be okay. It doesn't matter if like who you are, where you're from, what your gender, your sexuality, your age, etc. When you're a victim, you're a victim. So we got each other, okay? Got each other. We're gonna be okay. My first video that blew up was in December, and that girl really struggled with suicidal thoughts. I've come a long way since then. A really long way. They didn't end there. There was so much more. There was a lot. But I'm here now. I'm not thriving, but I'm able to get out of bed. I may not be able to see the next 5 years for myself, but I can see the next week. That's enough. I may not get 10,000 steps a day and hit the gym 5 times a week, but I go outside every day. Sometimes it's 2,000 steps, sometimes it's 8,000, sometimes it's 10,000. Sometimes it's just sitting outside in the sun or rain. It's bloody England.